how's it going? Welcome back. This is Amy. And if you're new, welcome to. This is Book Talk Thursday. Boy, we made it to Thursday. Hallelujah. And no, I'm not going to sing it because I have a very terrible singing voice. But anywho, we're back. It's Thursday. I got a Thursday afternoon going on. Busy day. And today's drink is ginger ale. Thought I'd be a little fancy and festive. This is my little cup cozy I have that I've made. It's my Bears. Chicago Bears. The Bears. The Bears. Yeah, I know. We're not doing well overall as a team, but you got to stick with it. Cheers to the Bears. And we're playing the Packers this Sunday. It's going to suck. And we're at home, but still, I don't think the way we've been playing those, I don't know. I just don't like the Packers. It's our arch nemesis if nobody knows. Anywho, drink up, people. Yeah. Okay. So, Book Talk Thursday. Update on Mango, the pocket kitty, Mango Go Go. He's been sick. If you didn't see the last, I want to say podcast. This is not. It's a booktube. Amy, you don't have a podcast. I know. I know. Should I? Probably not, because you don't have time for that. Anyway, Mango took him to the vet this morning. He had a vet appointment because I wasn't satisfied with how he was breathing and doing. And so they checked him out. They gave him some, a fluid drip. And, yeah, he did start yesterday, afternoon. He started drinking some water on his own and eating a little bit of his food. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit of a turnaround there, and we got some different medication we're giving now. It's going to take a little longer, but hopefully it's going to nip this whatever he has in the bud. I don't know. We don't have a diagnosis exactly, just because there's a couple of things to test for, but those tests could be, unfortunately, a lot of money, and we just honestly don't have that right now. So I'm hoping you just cross your fingers, say some prayers, that this little round of antibiotic stuff works and kicks us in the bud. And he's been stuffed up nasally. He's got, snot, and I still got to get some nasal drips for him. You can get that at the regular store, they told me, and keep his nose wiped. And yeah, they gave him this little kind of nutritional supplement, look like gooey, gross stuff, but to get some nutrition in him. And they gave him some fluid therapy. And yeah, he came home and he's not as active as he was. He's laying in his little bed like he likes, and he did come in. He's not in here now, but usually in the daytime a lot he'll come in here and want to lay on the bed. And he did that yesterday. He slept on the bed a long time, which was nice. Today he sat in the chair with me in the morning, which he usually does. But yeah, so hopefully we're on a road to recovery, and that's the Mango update. Thanks for thinking about him, praying for him, crossing your fingers, having high hopes, whatever it is you do that's positive vibes. Thank you. We need it. Keep it coming. Anywho, we're here for Book Talk Thursday. And today I thought I've been seeing, I watched a couple of booktubers with this end of year book tag going around. And I thought, oh, that'll be fun. I'll try that. It doesn't seem too difficult for me to do it. Some of these book tags, I'm like, it requires a whole lot of thinking. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we want to go there for that. But this one, it's the end of year book tag. And I don't know who started it, but I have a couple of links I'll put in the description box for a couple of booktuber videos I watched. I originally seen this on the Johanna at Me, My Dog and Books video. I think I watched it yesterday or the day before. I don't know, whenever it came out. And she talked about this tag. And then also I watched yesterday Melreads. she had this book tag, and she actually said the person that the tag was from. So if you watch hers, you'll know the name of the person. I don't remember who the person was that started this. But anyway, it's basically just 6 questions, and it's just has to do with the books and about your end of year plans. Very simple. That's what I thought. So, the first question is, let's see. No, that's not my questions. That's my answers. That's not going to make sense. This is going to be like Jeopardy. I'm going to tell you the answer, and then you're going to have to guess the question. Um, yeah, that's going to make it more difficult, and then you're probably just going to hit the button and say bye. Anyway, the first question for the end of year book tag is, are there any books this year that you need to finish? Well, absolutely. As a reader, as a booktuber, as just, lover of books, there's always a book that you need to finish by the end of the year. But specifically, I did find a couple that I needed to finish. I want to finish by the end of the year because I started them and they're just sitting there, but I don't, honestly, will I get to them? I don't know. Hopefully, there are a couple that I'm almost done with that I know I can finish by the end of the year, so probably that, but I will. One of the books is I started It by Stephen King in the summer. I'm a little over halfway through. I think I'm like 60 or 75%. So technically I could, but I have all this other lists of books I want to read going on, so I don't know. That's a little bit more involved psychologically. And then I had started also All the Missing Girls by I think that's Megan Miranda. I want to start that, but I didn't get very far in, so I kind of put it on the back burner. That was this spring. I think I started that one, and these next two, I'm almost finished with. I just didn't get to finish it yet. But there is also a Stephen King short story collection, If It Bleeds. I have one short story and not even half of another one, a little bit of another one. So I should be finishing that. I need to get on that. That's just a short story collection. And that one, it had the title, short story. The title of the book is the short story is If It Bleeds, and that had to do with the character of Holly Gibney that Stephen created. That was in the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, which I really like. And then she had her own novel, Holly, which I read that. I loved it. And then right before, I think this If It Bleeds story he wrote right was before Holly came out. So I was trying to read them in order and then I got out of order. But there is a little bit of in Holly, a little bit of talking about some things that happen in If It Bleeds. So if you want to read them in order and not know anything, then I would do If It Bleeds before you read Holly if you haven't. But I really liked them both. And the next one is Practical Magic. I just had this one this last month and I just didn't get to it. I had to take the book back. So I'm preparing to get it again and then finish it up. I think I'm at, that might be 60-70%. There's not a whole lot left. It's getting to the good part, so I definitely want to finish that. So that one, the next question is, do you have an autumnal? Do you have an autumnal book to transition you to the end of the year? Well, yes, I have a few fall slash autumnal books. One I can think of right off the top of my head is I've been wanting to get to this. I just haven't got to it yet. I got to the first one. This is the second one in the series. It's the Shady Hollow series. And I'm not giving it back until I read it. So I don't know. But this is Cold Clay. It's a nice little fall creature feature, cozy mystery, Shady Hollow mystery series. This is the number 2. And it's just about these little forest creatures. And there's the last one was like a murder mystery, and this one is a disappearance of a moose's ex-wife, and they find some moose bones, and so I find out if it's the ex-wife and if the guy killed his moose wife. I don't know, but yeah, That's gold clay. So yeah, so this is still a fall, wintry. I think it's still in the fall. In the fall months, it has apples on the trees and things and mushrooms, and the last one was a fall vibes. So this one I'm thinking is still fall vibes. Boy, I can't say that. Yeah. So I have that one, and I think I also have All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. That seems like a fallish, um, vibey type thing. I do want to read that one, too. Because I do own that book, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it that by the end of the year, but definitely Cold Clay I want to get to. That's still a fall book that's going to transition into the winter new year, and unless it falls down in my head, and then we're going to have a comedy show. Sitcom. Yeah. Anywho, moving on. So there's that. And then that's the answers. That's the answers. You don't want the answers yet. Um, you want the questions. So number 3 is there a new release you're still waiting? Well, as far as I think my last new release that I was waiting on from the library, it was new this year and I had it on hold at the library, was In the Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. And I got that from the library. Oh, this is going to be, Amy, just take him down. Amy. So we're going to have bad things are going to happen. I always do at my desk. Um, yeah. So this, I got it from the library. I have it. I've had it for a little bit. And, my Lord, we're getting post-it notes all mixed up. Oh, I can't mix up my post-it notes. So this is Riley Sager's In the Middle of the Night. So I was waiting on this one for a very long time, but I got it. So technically we're not waiting on it anymore. We're waiting to read it. And there is a few new ones that I went over on my last video. I did some anticipated reads in that video, and there were a couple that were new for October that I looked up on my library to see if they had them, and they did. And actually, I put them on hold, so they are new reads. I am waiting for them, and actually, they did. They are ready for pickup. I just haven't picked them up, and that is Influencer by Adams Caesar or Cesar. Apparently, I think it's Caesar, who's also the author of the Clown in the Cornfield series that I'm currently reading. I'm currently on the Clown in the Cornfield 2, and I have 3 in my possession also. But this is Influencer by Adam Caesar, and yeah, I have it ready to pick up at the library. And so I'm waiting for. I actually have 2 more books that are in transit that are Christmas books that I heard about through some booktubers I wanted to read. And so I'm waiting for those. I may pick these up that are ready tomorrow because I have to go to town to get some medicine stuff for Mango the cat. But and I'm gonna take some books back to the library that technically I haven't got to, so we're putting them on the back list, but we'll get to that after I'm done with this. But yeah. So I have Influencer by Adam Caesar is one I'm waiting for. It's a new one, and The Best American Mysteries and Suspense of 2024, edited by S.A. Cosby. That's a book of short story, um, short mystery and suspense stories that he put together and edited this anthology. And so from 2024 stories. And so I was curious about that to read. So that is also ready to pick up at the library that I'm waiting for. And it is new. Those came out in October. Influencer came out October 1st, and The Best American Mysteries and Suspense came out on the October 22nd. So those are rather new. And those pretty much are the last 2. I think I don't really have anything that I know of that's new that I'm waiting for, or I've put on hold, or I've gonna buy, or or even waiting to come out to be published. So that's really anything I'm waiting for really has already been published, and I just those few I'm getting from my library, which is great. And post-its. So Number 4 is, what 3 books do you want to read by the end of the year? Well, I got more than 3 books I want to read by the end of the year. I got a stack of library books, people. But I think to narrow it down, obviously what I want to read is, I think in the middle of the night, definitely I want to read by the end of the year so I can get it back to the library and those waiting for it can read it. By Riley Sager. This, like I said, this is a new one out this year. I forget when it came out. It came out spring, summer, something like that. But yeah, so that was the new Riley Sager. And also, I would like to read, so I have that on hand. And where is I also I put down All the Colors of the Dark. I would like to read that by the end of the year, being it's new and it had all this hype with it, and it was supposed to be really good. Because I own it, I don't know that I'm going to get right to it before the end of the year. But I also have a library book. Um, that's a new one that came out this year. Is Such a Bad Influence that I've been wanting to read. I did start it. I'm not very far into it, but I put it down to I'm trying to read the books in order that I need to take them back to the library. So this one, and I've been renewing them, my library books. I've been able to renew them, most of them. So this one's been renewed, but it's I don't think it's due right away now. So I have a little bit more time, but I do want to read this before the end of the year. And it's also a new author. I think she's a new author, Olivia Munter. But this is a social media influencer person, disappears, and her sister's tries to find her and find out what happened to her. So I guess she's doing YouTube, and she disappears in the middle of the filming. And so yeah. So I do have the influencer new one that I'm getting at the library. That's also a social media um type of aspect plot. And yeah, so I'm getting more into the social media plots. And yeah, so those are the 3 books that I'd like to read at the end. But like I said, All the Colors of the Dark, it's kind of on the back burner, and I probably will not get to that till the beginning of the year. But definitely these 2, um, Such a Bad Influence and Middle of the Night by Such a Bad Influence by Olivia Munter, and Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Definitely these 2. I can hold them up. I would like to, like a roller coaster, get to before. My direction is so off, people. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, put it away, Amy. Put it away. Before you hurt somebody, mainly yourself. So yeah. So the number 5 question is there a book you think could still shock you to be a favorite book of the year? Gosh, I don't know, because I've heard I've heard, well, I think actually um high ratings and then mid ratings on Middle of the Night again. um I'm thinking I don't have the couple of Riley Sagers that I've read so far. They didn't get 5 stars, but you know, still could happen. I'm not sure. I've heard good things about this. And Riley Sager's always a good writer. He always has good plots, and I enjoy the story plots and the synopsises I've read of other stories that I haven't read yet, but that I want to get to. But I don't know. I don't know if Middle of the Night's going to be one that's going to be um favorite book of the year. I don't know, because I've had a few books I've read already, and I'm even thinking those I really, really liked, but I'm like, is it a favorite book of the year? I don't know. I don't know, because just off the top of my head, the ones I've really, really liked that I've read was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and that's a romance, and I don't generally read a lot of romance, but that surprised me as being as that I liked it as much as I did. Um, and then also the um Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. I heard good things about that. And so when I read it, it was really good. I really liked it. And that surprised me at how much I like that one. It was based on a serial killer, Ted Bundy. It is a fiction story. But anyway, so that one just surprised me how much I don't know I don't know what my favorite book of the year is so far. I mean, I can really, really like it, but then if you get down to it and you have to pick, like the blue ribbon, is it going to be the blue ribbon? Or, I have a list of a stack of books that, I still have to read that I got from the library or on a Libby app or whatever. And then the ones I just said I'm picking up and a couple of Christmas ones. But, most of these, I think most of these that I have didn't come out this year that I'm still on my list to read. But it doesn't mean that can't be your favorite for the year. You can have a book that came out in 1865. It could be your favorite book of the year. I don't know. I just know those two off the top of my head, Bright Young Women, Just for the Summer, um, trying to think of other ones I've read, but you know, those two just stick out. I did the My Heart is a Chainsaw series. Um, yeah, there's just I don't know. I don't know that any of the books that I have left are going to surprise me to be my favorite ones. We'll just leave it at that. And the that was that one. So the last question is no question number 6. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? Why, yes, I have, BookTube. Yes, I have. And I've already started making my list. I've kind of almost finalized my list of 25 books to read in 2025, TBR. I wrote them down on my little index card. So I have been finalizing that. Even though I haven't got to all the books that I wanted to read in 24 books in 2024, I still have books on that list. And you know what? No, it's not going to be a surprise. I'm not going to finish all that list. But on 2025 list of 25 books in 2025, I'm having trouble saying that. I think a lot of the books I listed there are I own mostly personally I own and I have and I don't think there's not the only thing I think would go on that list was All the Colors of the Dark because like I said, honestly, I don't think I'm getting it this year and that's one of the new ones that I do want to read. And so, um they're mostly I say older books, at least a few years old. Uh 3. So yeah, I have that list. So that's me. That's what I'm saying is that's pretty much finalized for what I'm going to have for the year. I'm looking for my list. Yeah. And did I have 20? Yeah, I wrote 25 books down and there is actually 9 books that I don't own that are on this list. And the rest of them I own. So the ones I don't own, I'm probably going to try to get through the Libby app or borrow from the library, obviously. And then, I mean, there's some of them I'm looking at right now that I think, I'd like to own that book, but gonna hold off on that. And there is actually 3 books, the last 3 I wrote down, that are not even out yet. So they're going to be new releases next year, 2 in March and 1 in April. And, there's the new Stephen Graham Jones book coming out, The Buffalo Hunter. These books I talked about in my last video on Tuesday about anticipated books I'm anticipating coming out. And so the Stephen Graham Jones is coming out in March, and Pride or Die by C.L. Montblanc coming out in April, and This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Weinstead is coming out in March. So those 3 are absolutely new, not out yet. So that's on my 25 for 2025. So yeah, most of these I own. So that's in the plans for the new year. And also, I have, um, I think what I'm going to do with my TB. So I've been picking a lot of books to put on my TBR every month, and I'm not even getting to all of them, which, it happens. You can pick 3 books and not get to them all in the month. It just depends on what you got going on. But I think what I'm going to do to help myself complete my list and uh, get through my TBR and make sure I'm reading those and not just having to roll them over, is I'm going to limit my TBR to 6 books. This is in the new year. 6 books a month so when I do my TBR show here on BookTube, I'm going to have 6 books. I'm going to pick 6 books. I'm not sure how we're going to do the picks yet. If I'm just going to pick out some book, because I'm a serious mood reader. So like I could lose the mood if I haven't got to that book by the end of the month, and yeah, or week. But so I haven't done any like TBR jar picks or anything like that, but I may try that out for this next new year. I'm thinking if I'm going to have I'm going to have a list of 6 books on my TBR for the month. And my goal is if I get through those and I read those that month and I still have time left in the month, then I'm going to have like, I guess I'm going to call it like free choice. So then I'll have time and I can get whatever book I'm in the mood to read, or if I have it on hold at the library and it came in or whatever, for, still have time to read it that month. Then I'll pick something and I'll read it, just, pick it randomly and read it at that time. So I'll have like free choice. And then so the out of the 6 that I'm picking to put on my TBR, I'm going to probably pick, I don't know if I'm going to pick maybe 3. I'm going to already have just randomly pick 3 books that I want to read that month. And then for the other 3, I think I may have like a TBR prompt jar. And then that will go off my physical TBR, the books here that I have that I need to read. And then I'll pick those last 3 books for the total of 6 through a prompt. So that way I'll just have a prompt and then I'll find a book. So that way I'm not stuck at getting a TBR jar pick that's a specific book and then I don't feel like reading it. I'm afraid of picking things like that, and then I don't even want to read it. So why am I picking it? So I think maybe a prompt jar, and pick half the books through a prompt jar and then pick the other half with. So yeah. So that's my goal for this next year. I think is reasonable, and I think it'll help me get through reading my books and not just rolling them over and having a randomly enormous amount of books on my TBR to go through. I think it would make it a little bit more possible, realistic. And also for my library picks, I've been putting a lot of books on hold at the library and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting a lot of books from your library. They like that. The problem is I'm getting so many books that, I don't get to them and I have to renew them several times. And then, I find a new book and I want to put it on hold. So I'm going to limit to what I put on hold at the library, kind of scale back a little bit, and just make sure I get maybe a couple of books, 2 or 3 books for the month, maybe, because I'll have the TBR. So that way, if I have some books on hold, and then I'll have, I always have try to have some audio books on my Libby app just to listen to in the car or at night or whatever. When I'm doing stuff around the house and I can't sit down and read the book, I'll have an audio book. I'm still going to have that, and I'll have as many there on my Libby app as I can for the audios. But yeah, limiting how many books I have on hold or check out for the library, and limiting the books that I have on my TBR every month so that I know that I'll be able to get through them. So that, my friends, is my end of year, or my next year plans, the end of year book tag, and what my plans are for the next year. That's just a couple of the plans I have that I've already decided I wanted to do. So, yeah. So that is it for Book Talk Thursday and the end of year book tag from Amy with a Y. And I am Amy. And thanks for coming by. And thanks for saying any prayers for my mango cat. We'll continue to update on him. Tuesday, hopefully he'll be, like I said, he's eating and drinking some water on his own now. So hopefully we're gonna be getting back to going towards normal, whatever that is. But yeah, hope you have a good weekend, the rest of your week, and if you're cold, stay warm. If you're hot, stay cool. But we'll be back here on Tuesday. If you cross your fingers and have high hopes, we'll be back on Tuesday for Book Talk Tuesday. Okay, thanks. Bye.